And we're actually going to be going over inflammation. So this is my absolute favorite. I'm so glad that my rotation of leading you this morning fell on inflammation, because I'm going to start with just telling you my client story. I'm a client just like you. I started helping out with the mission as soon as I started feeling better. I was 2 weeks into my journey. I have what's called celiac Hashimoto's. Um, I have had it for a very long time. And actually, when I discovered Optavia, I was already in wellness. So I had a wellness practice that was born out of my autoimmune. And if you don't know, autoimmune is chronic and systemic inflammation. Basically, my body was attacking itself all of the time. So I learned to live with it. My protocols before Optavia helped me a little bit to feel a little better. But what's ironic is this wellness coach that had autoimmune was unaware of a program like Optavia. So the very first thing I want to say is, if you're here today and somebody thought that much of you to reach out in a text or a phone call, or they sent you a Facebook message, or it started with a happy birthday, something like that, you are so blessed. I just want to say that, because I've had such a healing on this program, mentally, physically, and emotionally, that I couldn't shut up about it, and I started telling everybody. So that's why I'm a coach, okay? And it's really a blessing to be here this morning with you today. So my remissive state that I have been in, right? My autoimmune is in remission. And that is due to all of the habits that Optavia has taught me. Hydration, sleep, stress management, all of the things. People think autoimmune, guys, is all about what you eat. And I love that our comprehensive program tackles so much more than what are you eating, right? And so today I'm really excited to guide you through our materials. If you want to go ahead and grab your books, we're going to start right at the beginning with page 424 of your Habits of Health book. And I would love some planned interaction. I'm going to give you guys opportunities to interact in a little bit. But for the first part of this, we're just going to talk about your aches and pains. So why don't you do me a favor and put in the chat, what type of relief have you gotten? So before plan, how was your inflammation? Scale of 1 to 10. Before the plan, that would be like achiness, brain fog, disruptive sleep, energy crashes during the day. You had to rely on caffeine or energy drinks. You just didn't feel good, right? So how was that before plan? I'm seeing some pretty high numbers, 7, 8, 9. Great. You know, really look at where you started, where you are, and where you want to go. That's really what we're doing in this conscious program, is looking at where are you, what can we improve, and where are you going. So I see that there's a lot of people like me that had a lot of inflammation. Okay, so all right, now rate yourself. Where are you now? So if you were a 9, where are you now? What's your orientation now as we sit here today? And I'm seeing a lot of decrease. Okay, that's great. So the goal with an optimal health journey is never to go 0 to 60. That's what we were taught our whole life. Extreme, extreme, extreme. This program is about going from a 1 to a 2, and a 2 to a 3, and a 3 to a 4. And so that's why we show up. We show up in these calls. I love it. Okay, so did you guys know that our Western culture has been deemed inflammation nation? Did you know that that's how we are referred to as a country, the inflammation nation, right? And I find that to be very accurate now that I am on mission and just seeing how many people are suffering, it's about 7 out of 10 people that you meet everywhere you go that would say, oh yeah, I have some inflammation. Oh yeah, I have high blood pressure. Oh yeah, I have high triglycerides. Oh yeah. So this is not something that I'm sure surprises you. But let's talk about the definition of, inflammation. I really like, I'm going to refer to page 425 in my book. And what I think is great is systemic inflammation is known as chronically elevated immune systems and overreactive immune system. So we all know what an overreactive person looks like, right? You might have people that overreact around you and you're like, whoa, okay. I want you to picture your body doing that, overreacting. Like you might see it in a person and go, wow, that was explosive. Wow, that was a lot. We can see it like that, right? But inside, what Dr. A says is when you have an overreactive system, why did that happen? Why is our system overreactive? He says our bodies basically compensate until they cannot. So here's the thing I hear on health assessments a lot. Well, I know that I have a lot of visceral fat on my organs. I'm aware that I'm 50, 60 pounds overweight. But my doctors say my labs look really good still. That is true. I know that that can be true. But here's what Dr. A is telling you. He's saying, yeah, your body will compensate until it doesn't. And then it's out. And now you've got a silent enemy that is turning on you. So your very immune system that's there to protect you, he says it can turn on you like that. Okay. Now, what does that look like? Well, it can look like premature aging. He says that right there in the side pocket of page 425, the negative effects of an overactive immune system are not felt overnight. They're not felt overnight. Then why do we expect changes overnight? When the things that are hurting us are not even felt overnight. Why do we do that? Take note of that. Ask, if you're a coach this week with your clients, are you still expecting overnight changes, right? Let's get rid of that because it says right here, but over time, and if we keep our immune system in action on bad habits like eating unhealthy foods, avoiding movement, neglecting our restorative sleep, and handling stress poorly, then our bodies are going to age prematurely. Put a 2 in the chat if you feel like you look younger and you feel younger since you've started this program, but in fact, you have aged. Like chronologically, you have aged, but you look at all the 2s. Guys, I look back at pictures when my autoimmune was raging, and I look 10 years older than I do right now, hands down. I'm like, wow, fascinating. So Dr. A believes that aging can be reversed and that you actually can reverse a chronological age with the right habits of health. So I don't know about you, but I'm all in on that. I am all in on turning the clock back. Okay, so let's kind of continue to go through this page. It's pretty rich with information. I have a question for you. Are you becoming more willing to do what? The question I have is, are you willing to trade your chronic habits of disease for the habits of health? So we're trading one at a time, right? Where we're like, okay, I have this chronic habit of disease. I stay up all night. I'm a night owl. I don't sleep. I don't move my body. I sit for a really long time. I drink too much. I eat too much, right? So we're looking at the habits of disease and what our program came to do. And I would love for you to write this down somewhere. I am disrupting patterns. You are not on a diet. You can make up to be a diet, but you are not on a diet. You came here to disrupt the chronic habits of disease, one at a time. And you're going to get better and better and better. And I applaud you for showing up for this call today. That is absolutely disrupting a pattern of, we have this, I'm busy, busy as a badge, right? So good for you that you showed up to disrupt some patterns today. So let's look at lifespan versus health span. There's a big difference, right? Are you guys aware of your lifespan is the number of years that you live, right? Your health span is the quality of those years. Big difference. So as you lean in and you understand, wait a minute, what's going on with this program? Well, guys, we pulled you off sugar. You got pulled off sugar. You broke up with sugar. Now, don't get me wrong. There's some sugar in the fuelings. You got to have sugar or you would die. Okay, so I'm not talking about not having any. I'm talking about high glycemic, inflammatory sugar, high fructose corn syrup. All those addictive foods are gone. Okay, now, what is inflammation's food source? Type it in the chat. Inflammation has a food source. It needs to eat, just like you do. So yes, inflammation's food source is sugar. It's sugar. So why would we continue to eat sugar knowing it's addictive for 72 hours after we eat it? Do you see that our protocol, one of the aspects is breaking connection with inflammation's food source so that you don't have to feel achy breaky in your heart and you can heal, and you also don't have to feel crazy in your mind wanting sugar all day because we broke connection with sugar. So next time someone says, oh, can you have this on your diet? You could say, oh, friend, I'm not on a diet, but I actually broke up with sugar 3 weeks ago and I feel real good. Okay. So these are some really important things to understand about inflammation. What is cancer's food source? Sugar. Yes. Okay, this is a really, really exciting thing to share with you guys. I want to share something on the next page. Please go to page 426 with me. This is powerful information, guys, for those that you love and for you. Okay. Until just a few years ago, the medical community focused on cholesterol and triglycerides as the main culprits of heart disease. Now, thank you to a landmark study at the Harvard School of Public Health, we know that chronic inflammation, specifically the presence of a C-reactive protein, an inflammatory marker, plays a major role in the development of heart disease. I'm going to break this down a little bit for you so that you understand what's happening. Having high cholesterol all by itself is not terribly dangerous. Okay, it's not good, but it's not terribly dangerous. What's terribly dangerous is having chronic and systemic inflammation running through your body, because it would take a series of events to make a heart attack. A heart attack is what he's talking about. Onset acute inflammation. So if you're like, man, I want to avoid a heart attack, I want to avoid a stroke, no one here is saying we can guarantee anything, we can get off medication, we can cure any disease. Let me throw that disclaimer right out there. We cannot say that. But what we can say is by way of breaking up with sugar and eating Mediterranean lean greens and nutritious fuelings that are very low glycemic, right? You are making your body a horrible host for disease. You could say that. You could deduct that. And you could say, if my heart has hereditary issues, meaning my mom has high cholesterol, my dad has high cholesterol, then I better watch my inflammation, because the heart is only going to act crazy if I have acute onset of inflammation. That is a heart attack. So if you're very interested in making your body a horrible host for disease, then you'll want to lean into every aspect of this program. And you will want to get away from treating this like a diet, because it's not. The food is just a tool. It's just a tool. So we're really here to empower you with this type of information and have you go, oh my gosh, I had no idea this stuff. Every week you should say, wow, I've had no idea. And now you have an idea. So that's exciting, right? You feel, how many of you are starting to feel empowered every time you attend a win the day call? Those are our daily calls that we have. And if you don't know about those, you'll want to lean in. They're like mini book clubs, okay? We did not come here to sell you some food and wish you the best of luck, okay? That's not our program. So moving on, I'd like for some folks to share for the next like 3 to 4 minutes. How we best coordinate this is for you to put your little yellow hand up. So if you're like, oh, I want to share, but I don't know how to put my hand up, you'll want to go to the reactions page, the little happy face down there, and you'll want to put up your yellow hand, and I will call on you. You'll need to unmute yourself. You're able to do that. And what I would love to know is those of you that had major inflammation, give us some wins. Like, talk to us about what's happening with you specifically that you could share and encourage other people who might be like, man, my program hasn't even arrived today and I want to hear some wins. Okay. So anybody, I'd like the coaches to go last and really hear from some clients. Coaches have great wins, but we want to hear from some clients this morning. Anybody willing to share little things that you're starting to feel because inflammation is being ushered out? No shares? Oh, come on. Come on. Don't hold out on us. We know that you're winning in some little way. Just go ahead and take yourself off mute. If you can't figure out the yellow hand, and that's the hold up, just come off mute and share a win from your program. We would love to hear a win. All right, Yolanda, I see you.
Good morning. I just wanted to share that before the program, I was constantly in pain. I had cancer twice, and cancer left me with neuropathy. Um, Diabetic, that's pretty prevalent with diabetics, but it's a side effect from chemo. And I do yet deal with that because it's a side effect, but I was really wrestling with inflammation because I was eating like really bad. But since being on the program, oh my God, it's been amazing, man. And I've noticed when I do cheat, I'm just being honest, I can tell my body starts hurting again. I'm like, oh no, I gotta stay on the path. I gotta stay on the path. So it's a it's a blessing. It's been a blessing being on the program as far as the inflammation or not the absence of inflammation. I can tell a big difference.
Thank you, Yolanda. That is so awesome. We are celebrating that for you today. That's why we all jump out of bed, is because we know that on the other side of us sharing and living out loud is someone like you. So that is so awesome. Keep leaning into the program. Did you guys know 75% of our program is non-food? So you get your box, right? And it's easy to go, okay, 75% of our program is non-food. It's your coach community, it's the community itself, and it's your habit reform and your education, right? Only 25% of our program is the food. So that's pretty awesome. Okay, so who's ready to commit to turning back their immune system? Remember that your immune system will turn on you if it's not given what it's needed. Okay, what does it need? It needs the habits, the macro habits that Dr. A is coaching you on. When you give your body what it needs, it doesn't turn on you as much. Okay, it's a good friend, but if you keep denying it, it's water and it's oxygen and it's sleep and it's fiber and it's minerals and it's nutrients. It has no choice but to survive. And its survival mechanisms are really strong, and they'll even do it at your expense. Okay, so who's ready to turn your immune system back into your protector? I do have a question for this group. For the OGs, this is more for the OGs in the group that have been around, I'm going to say a year or longer. Do you guys get sick less since you've been on Optavia? Would you say, you know what, being all honest, like for us, for my husband and I, we're in optimization. We still eat fuelings, but we eat a lot of food of our own because we've gone from induction to transition to optimization. However, all the vitamins and minerals that are in here, guys, we just don't get sick that much. And when we do, it's real short and we're the fastest to recover. So let me check that chat out and see who's feeling like their immune system is now keeping them healthy. That's great, guys. I love that. Yeah. It's a big thing with Optivians where we're like, man, we just don't get as sick as often and we recover a lot faster. And the point that he's saying here is when your immune system turns on you, it turns its back on you because it's surviving. It can't do its normal job. Its normal job is to keep you healthy, to fight the bad guys, okay? But it can't fight the bad guys if it's fighting you. You guys connecting with me on this? Okay. Joyce, I see your hand up and I would love to hear from you.
Hi, I appreciate being on. This week, I actually had some blood work done. And prior to starting the program last September, I was plagued with gastrointestinal inflammation. I mean, continuous problems and a prisoner to the bathroom. Since then, I haven't had any episodes since I started the program, and all of my blood work, my blood work has turned out to be really, really good. My A1C has dropped below the normal range, or the highest point of the normal range. My cholesterol readings are all very good, in fact, in normal range, and they were all high prior to starting the program. I have more energy. The only thing that was, it wasn't flagged, but the only thing that actually showed a little low on the blood work was my good cholesterol. And I know that now that I am starting to move again, that will increase, that will get better. But everything, and I went to the gastrologist this week and he was thrilled at the results. I have lost 45 pounds and 41 inches overall. And he couldn't believe in the time frame that I've been working this program that I had such good results. And he took copies of the provider sheets and was very excited to get them. So I'm very happy that I started the program. It's obviously one of the best decisions I ever made in my life. And I am 71 right now.
Wow, Joyce, thank you for that encouragement this morning and for showing us what's possible. That means you chose yourself a lot. You stopped, challenged, and choosed a lot, and you're winning and it's becoming predictable. I love that. I see another hand up, Denise. Denise, would you like to share with us?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I couldn't get it to work.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I think I've shared this before. I started the program and then I stopped the program. And when I started the program, I hadn't measured my waist and since I stopped the program, and I freaked out because even though my blood work, everything has always been good, for the first time, I had a lot of visceral fat. And since I started the program, I've lost most of that visceral fat. And even though it's only been 2 months, and I'm very happy about that. But I don't even know if it was visceral fat. It was everything that was hanging out in my intestines, which Kristen is my my life coach. My I call her my life coach, but she that's the one thing I used to tell her. It was like, oh, I feel lighter. I feel lighter because it helped me empty out my bowels. Pretty much, like, my intestines felt lighter, my insides felt lighter, and I feel that happened because I was more mindful about what I was putting in my mouth, and I wasn't just shoving everything that I saw in the kitchen, which I feel that I was doing before. So I don't know. I feel that being in the program has helped me be more mindful about what I'm eating and not just grabbing and eating everything in sight.
I love that. The behaviors are leading to the outcomes, and they're making habits, and it's creating a healing. And I love that. That is so good. Thank you for sharing. Sheila, I see your hand up. You want to share? Oh, you're on mute, Sheila.
Sorry. Good morning. Can you hear me now? Okay. So yeah, I used to wake up and I have like 14 stairs I had to go down, and I would dread it. It would hurt my knees. And even though I was only 20 pounds overweight, losing that 20 pounds in 2 months, going from a size 8 to a size 2 is just mind blowing. I think the biggest thing, I think that's even bigger than that I've taken from this program is being busy. Like I used to, like we talked about the other day, because Rachel, obviously you're my coach. We talked about how being busy, it seems like, is a competition, and it's sad. It breaks my heart now. And so that's probably the biggest thing for me that I've gotten from this program is I don't use busy in fact, I try to not say busy ever. So I'm forever grateful. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, radical, awesome transformation, Sheila. And what I love the most is how she's out there just helping people now. Loving that. So, okay, couple things that I want you to take a look at during your week is it's actually on page 427. Sitting is the new smoking. Oh my gosh, there's actually a ton of research, guys, that shows that sitting for long periods of time is just as harmful as smoking. Can you guys believe that? Pretty crazy stuff. So I want you to take a walk with that, no pun intended, this week, and really look at, how do I break this up? Do I need a standing desk? Do I need an alarm that says get up? Do I need to actually listen to my Apple Watch when it says get up? Because this is a real deal thing, okay? And he's explaining what happens with free radicals and stress on your cellular health when you sit too long. So this is why I'm going to close with this, okay? Optavia is a mission. We are not a product. We are not a program. I know we refer to it, I'm on the program, I'm off the program, I was on the program, and then I went off the program. And I want to tell you a secret. I've been here 6 years. Healthy is not a program. It's a decision, and it's a commitment, and it's painful. Whoever told you getting healthy was easy lied. Okay, but program is easy, right? But making the decision to invest in your health over your lifespan is a commitment. It's not a program. You're not on something and off something. You're winning all the time. If you drink a glass of water, you're winning. If you protect your sleep, you are winning. So we came here to create a healthy lifestyle with you. So this week, my challenge as a coach to you is bring other people into this mission. We are here to get this country healthy again and to disrupt patterns that have hurt us. 7 out of 10 fellow Americans are not doing well in the world, especially, right? Internationally, everyone is hurting. And here we are. And the reason I'm closing on this is because there was a word in this chapter And it was from Dr. A. And he said, antidote, antidote. And he's like, we have the antidote. And you know what? We do. We do. So I want to challenge you this week to share the antidote. It's not the program, it's not the feelings, it's the community, it's the education, it's taking steps forward that are hard with your coach. So invite someone to next week's book club and say, I know you are chronically inflamed, my friend. I thought this call would be good for you. And let them just listen and understand that you have something for them. I do want to urge you to share your wins. Listen to those testimonies today. Those are powerful. They're real. They don't need to be exaggerated. We don't need to exaggerate because it's the truth. We're all healing in some way. So let's go give that away this week. Okay. And thank you guys for your time. Let's go really put feet on this today and apply some of this. Maybe it's another glass of water, or maybe it's just setting alarms not to sit. Okay, thank you, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye, everyone.